Hawks lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1 is the final in a shootout. Rough loss for the Blackhawks, in which they honestly should not have been in this game and should not have gone to a shootout. They were outplayed from the very start of the game to the finish, but the Hawks were able to hold their own against this hard Tampa Bay Lightning team, and they lost it in a shootout. In fact, the shootout loss came to a former Blackhawk prospect who refused to sign with the Blackhawks and wanted to go to Tampa, and Dominic James. This is a rough loss. However, it's a second of a back-to-back, and they only held Tampa Bay to one goal. That's how it is. Shootout losses, in my opinion, shootouts are stupid. I always have said that, even if the Hawks win in it. I'm not a big fan of the shootout, and this is how the Hawks lost. They lost in a shootout. It's a skills competition, and that's what it is. Shots on goal per period shows how the Hawks were not the better team in this one. 8-4 in favor for Tampa in the first. 13-2 in favor for Tampa in the second. 9-8 in favor for Tampa in the third. Overtime, clearly the youth outshines the veterans of Tampa. Hawks outshot Tampa 4-1, nearly finishing it if Burakovsky actually decides to start stopping when Mikheyev shoots. He would have had an empty net goal basically in the overtime. He does not. And it led to the Hawks having to go to a shootout eventually. Total shots on goal, 31-18 in favor for Tampa Bay. At one point in the second period of play, the Hawks did not have a recorded shot on goal till the final almost minute and a half in the second period. However, I do think the Hawks had some more scoring chances that did not count as shots in this game. Face-off percentage, 52% of the draws went in favor for Tampa. Both teams went 0 for 3 on the power play, and that shows how the Hawks PK continues to dominate. First period of play we go into. It was all Tampa Bay. The Hawks really had nothing going for themselves. Tampa Bay kept the Hawks on their heels. Early fight happened about 4 minutes into play. Nick Foligno drops the gloves in the offensive zone, and because he laid a clean hit, and Tampa Bay got angry. Retaliation should have been a 2, 5, and a 10, but it was just a 2 and a 5. Hawks go to a power play after Nick Foligno drops the gloves. Foligno handily won that fight. But nothing comes from the power play. No shots on goal. Hawks really did not have anything rolling on the power play. I think it's time to change up the power play units with how they are playing the last almost week and a half. The power play's been bad. They need to start changing up something on it. And well, it takes a while. The Hawks have a power play midway through the period. It really does nothing with it. Tampa Bay was really pressing the Hawks hard and getting a ton of chances having a power play. Hawks killed it off by basically the skin of their teeth. That's how bad it was. It did not look good on the PK at first, but the Hawks were able to kill off a power play by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay continued to press. Hawks get a power play, and at 17:42, after the power play ends, scored by number 20, Ryan Green, his 7th of the season, assisted by number 76, Nick Lourdes, and number 11, Oliver Moore. Green goes in the slot after a great pass from Lourdes. He goes in and he beats Vasilevsky, giving the Hawks a 1-0 lead. Tampa Bay tries to challenge the goal for offside, and it was deemed not offside because Oliver Moore plays the puck into the offensive zone. He does not have the puck on his stick. Foligno comes in time to tag up, leads to Hawks going into the offensive zone to attack and get a goal. And the Hawks have a 1-0 lead after one. We go into the second period of play with a 1-goal lead, even though the Hawks have 4 shots on goal in this game. Tampa Bay really pressing the Hawks, and they continue to press the Hawks in the second period of play. Hawks really can't do much with it. They are stuck in the defensive zone the majority of the period. Tampa Bay was pressing hard, and the Hawks had to kill off another penalty. They get an opportunity on the offensive zone on the power play. Don't do much of it. Don't get any shots on goal until about minute lasting in the period. But Tampa Bay does get on the board, however, in the second period of play. At 18:42 in the second period, Nikita Kucherov scores his 25th of the season, assisted by Hagel and Sorelli to make it a 1-1 game. At that point, I'm like, okay, floodgates might be coming open because we are really helmed on our heels. Can't really get much going for ourselves. And Tampa Bay now on the board going into the third period of play. It's a 1-1 game. This could be an ugly period of play because we're on the second of a back-to-back. Second and third period of play, the Hawks actually were the better team. They were getting scoring chances. They just couldn't get them on net. Tampa Bay really pressed the Hawks a few times. Hawks do get some opportunities after some line changes were made by Blashill, and nothing came from it offensively. It goes into the overtime 1-1. Overtime, Hawks win the opening faceoff. They go up the ice, get a couple, loses control, but have some opportunities to score. Andre Burakovsky and Ilya Mikheyev go on a 2-on-1 break, and Burakovsky feeds it over to Mikheyev. Mikheyev shoots it, and it goes off the top of the pads of Vasilevsky, and Burakovsky skating and goes past the net and can't reach for the puck to poke it in for the empty net. And then shortly after that, a shot that whistled off the pipes by Nick Lourdes. And then after that, there was no real true scoring chances. We go into a shootout in which Tampa Bay ends up winning it in the shootout. Unfortunately, the score in the shootout was the same score in regulation. No, and not in regulation time. The shootout score ends up being 3-2. It's the final in the shootout. So in the shootout, we start is the Hawks go with the first shooter, and that was number 76, Nick Lourdes. Lourdes shoots, and it goes off the pads of Vasilevsky. Then Tampa Bay goes for their first shooter, Sato, I think I'm pronouncing his name. And he shoots it on the pads of Soderblom. Next shooter, Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard goes up for the Hawks, and he beats Vasilevsky, but Vasilevsky said no. Then Kucherov for Tampa Bay, and he beats Soderblom cleanly. It's a 1-0 lead Tampa in the shootout. Next shooter for the Hawks is number 91, Frank Nazar. Nazar goes up and he beats Vasilevsky, ties it up 1-1 in the shootout. Then Tampa Bay goes with Jake Gensel. Gensel shoots it onto the pads of Soderblom, and now next shooter in round 4 is number 46, Louis Crevier. Crevier goes in, deking Vasilevsky, and goes backhand on net. Hawks lead 1-1 on the shootout. It's a 2-1 lead. Tampa Bay now has an opportunity to tie, in which they do. It's a 2-2 game in the shootout. Oliver Moore in round 5 goes up and he shoots it onto the blocker of Vasilevsky. No, not blocker. Vasilevsky gets a good save on Oliver Moore, and now former Blackhawk prospect Dominic James, who refused to sign with the Blackhawks, wanted to sign somewhere else. He does sign with Tampa Bay, and he buries the shootout winner against Arvid Soderblom for the 2-1 final and the 3-2 final in the shootout. So it's a 2-1 final in the game, 3-2 in the shootout. Rough loss for the Hawks. However, it's a game which the Hawks probably should not have had a point, but they did. Soderblom played a good game, but the Hawks found a way to lose. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts are on tonight's action, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, we got to do better in these black jerseys.